Well, the countdown is officially on. We are 1 week out from the start of the Mooseheads regular season tonight. A final tune-up as the Mooseheads take on the Cape Breton Eagles. It's the battle in Nova Scotia. We've got it for you here this evening, live from the Mooseheads training facility at the RBC Center in Dartmouth. And with that, good evening, Moose Country. Welcome to the 2022 Mooseheads Training Camp presented by Eastlink. My name is Gareth McDonald. Pleased to be joined here by Scott McIntosh, Media Relations and Communications Manager for the Mooseheads. And Scotty, pretty good buzz in the building here tonight.
I think everybody's excited that this is wrapping up and we're about to get on with the real thing a week from tonight when your Mooseheads play host to the Charlottetown Islanders in the home opener at Scotiabank Center.
Well, looking forward to that. The last few years, this is a rarity, starting the season at home. So I'm pretty excited about that.
I look back, I think it was the 2013-14 season, the last time that the first game of the regular season was played on home ice.
Right, of course, after the Moose won the Memorial Cup, as Crosby takes it back the other way. Dished off there for Swan. That shot up and over the net of Nicholas Ruccia. Brady Schultz keeps that one in. He'll rim it around. Fournier after it here in the Eagles' end. He's going to try to center that one. And the Moose not quite able to get a stick on it as Lavoie sent it around. The Eagles in transition. That one played up ahead and chipped in by Angelo Fullerton as the Eagles get a change in. And Dylan McKinnon will take this one for a little dash back the other way. A pass up the middle that won't connect for the Moose. Biasca applying some pressure. His second game in a Moosehead sweater during the preseason. And Al McPhee trying to go to work as that one's played down low, and Biasca with a chance here at the side of the net. But we get a whistle on that sequence here. 1:03 into this first period.
And Attilio Biasca, of course, picking up 2 goals in his last game against the St. John Sea Dogs, his first one of the preseason. And by all accounts, coming into this preseason in excellent shape. He had an awesome World Junior Tournament in August.
Phenomenal for the Swiss.
Yeah, so big things could be happening for Attilio this season.
Yeah, third season in a Mooseheads jersey as the Eagles will look to get this one out. That was played up ahead there for Zachary Gravel, a cousin of former Mooseheads netminder Alex Gravel. Is Catafor on the backhand. He's going to shovel that one wide. McPhee now works it down toward the corner. It's Biasca back on it. There's a shot off his skate, wide of the net. Pass up ahead there. That was intended for Gravel, but picked off by David Moravets, who we're getting a look at for the first time.
That's right, the first time we get to see him in front of our own eyes. Played one game against St. John so far.
Moravets dropping that one off for the other Mooseheads import, Biasca, as that was shot wide of the net.
Moravets was the 33rd overall pick this past summer in the CHL import draft.
Now Samuel Johnson, great pass right there. And Brady James trying to get across to take away the lower portion of the net as Shortle puts one right on. The puck held in there at the line by Preston Battengale.
Nice setup, and I think James got a little help from the post on that one.
Now scooped up by Welsh, flipped over to Todd and played right back to Welsh. Lets a shot go, and that's knocked aside there by Rucci. A little opportunity on the rebound as Welsh had a chance at the side of the goal, but Rucci will make the save and hang on to that one here with 17:34 remaining in this opening period. Scoreless. We'll try to keep you up to speed here on the time, and of course the score having a couple of minor technical issues here.
Yeah, exactly. Our broadcast might not look quite the same as it has earlier this preseason, but we've got you covered.
Face-off controlled here by the Mooseheads. A pass over for Schultz. He'll step in with it, snaps a shot, and that one gloved here by Ruccia, coming into his third season as a member of the Cape Breton Eagles. Was the 17th overall pick back in the 2020 Q-League draft. Bit of a tough season last year for him, a tough season for a lot of guys on that Cape Breton side.
Exactly. They're at the start of that rebuild, but Ruccia clearly their guy. They are going with him as their number one goalie, and recently made a trade this summer for Gio Di Mattia. He'll be the number 2 in line, coming over from the Moncton Wildcats for Kiefer Lions, I believe.
Face-off controlled here again by the Moose. Schultz shoots and scores. Brady Schultz off the face-off. He'll find Twine, and the Mooseheads lead 1-0.
Puck comes back to Brady Schultz, and he shoots it through a crowd. I don't think it touched anyone on the way through. Just Ruccia could not see that puck, and it's 1-0 Mooseheads, just 2:36 into this game.
Schultz pretty effective out there. It's pretty simple on the power play. Puck's on net, and when Schultz had some time last year, saw plenty of that. Just 2 goals during his rookie season, but certainly created a lot when he's out there, and I think some pretty big expectations for him here heading into his second year.
Yeah, I think you're going to see more goals off the stick of Brady Schultz than you did last year. He puts a lot of pressure on the defense with his speed and agility, and he's been a welcome member to this group. A great surprise last year at camp as well with his abilities.
Fantastic rookie season for the Mooseheads here. This one will be sent up the left wing side for Catafor. He's got the red line. He'll dump that one in. Hustling after it down there was Ben Wallace. Wallace, one of 3 weeks U18 majors call-ups in the lineup here tonight for the Moose.
Yeah, lots of them with some of the guys away at NHL camps. We've got Dominic McKenzie on D, Ben Wallace, and Cade Mosier up front.
Moose icing the puck right there. So this draw will come back down into Halifax territory. So a little cheer goes up here for Brady Schultz. Dominic McKenzie picking up an assist on that Schultz goal. And Matthew Catafor, who's been having himself a pretty solid little preseason, picks up an assist on that one as well.
Yeah, Catafor, the leading scorer on the team, now with 6 points, a goal and 5 assists in the preseason.
Catafor coming off a 3-assist performance. The last time the Mooseheads were in action last Friday night in Fredericton, taking on the St. John Sea Dogs. 5-3 victory in that one for the Moose. So Catafor, 3 assists. You mentioned earlier at Dilio Biasca, just dynamite. Couple of goals for the Herd in that one. And Marcus Vidicek as well. Pretty solid little performance. A goal and an assist. And quite a few Mooseheads off at NHL camp this week.
Yeah, Vidicek in action as we speak for the Arizona Coyotes in rookie tournament action. Mooseheads on a power play here.
Catafor will play that one back to the line. Moravets on it. He'll dish it off for Phillips. Lets a shot go, and that one stopped by Ruccia. Is trying to clear the net in front. Xavier Day getting a little physical, and it's a second-round pick of the Eagles back in 2021. I know we talked a bit about him during the last game here in Dartmouth between the Mooseheads and the Eagles, but just a real good story for Cape Breton. Again, second-round pick back in 2021. One of the most impressive players. So you talk to the coaching staff, just so impressed with the camp that he had.
Yeah, absolutely. By all accounts, that's what they've been talking about, and very happy to have him on the team. Angelo Fullerton picking up that penalty, by the way, 2 minutes for tripping.
Puck will be sent around now for Phillips. Phillips press there, and Gravel on it, but the Mooseheads maintain control as she was supported by Biasca. Now Biasca will bump back to Phillips. Over to Moravets, who unloads from the line. Phillips deep in the action. He'll try to send that one off the end boards. McPhee was down there. The Mooseheads still in possession thanks to some good work from Matthew Catafor. He'll play it up top for Moravets. Right back over to Matthew Catafor, top scoring rookie last season. Catafor back there for Moravets. Snap the shot on that one. Deflects wide as Catafor tries to center it. Loose puck. Phillips is on it. Is up down there in the corner. Now work back to the line for Moravets. Kind of a little trickler there. Bouncer in front that kind of pinballed in toward Ruccia. Comes back for Moravets. Over to Phillips. Trying to get it toward the slot. It got through Biasca. And now an opportunity in front. Little pad save there by Ruccia as this one will pop out the neutral ice, and it's Moravets collecting it. He'll punch it right back in. Try to drop off there as he was poked at, and the Eagles will clear it away with 15 seconds remaining on that penalty to Fullerton. 14:48 remains in this opening period. Mooseheads leading 1-0 thanks to a goal from Brady Schultz. McKinnon slows things down, works it over to Fournier, right back to Dylan McKinnon. We're back to five-a-side hockey as McKinnon puts one on, and that'll be stopped and held on to by Ruccia.
Pretty good looking little power play for the Mooseheads to kick things off tonight. Lots of puck control, had them hemmed in in their own zone for quite some time, but nothing doing. Shots are 6-2, though, for Halifax so far. You mentioned Marcus Vidicek a little earlier, playing for Arizona. 6 Mooseheads, in fact, away at NHL camps right now, including Jordan Dumais, who had a heck of a start yesterday with a pair of goals for Columbus.
Oh, that second one just so pretty. That elite release, just so stealthy. And we did get to fortunately see that quite a bit last year, hoping to catch a few more glimpses of that here in year 3 for Jordan Dumais. Looking forward to it as Swan. He'll take it back up ice here for the Moose, and he is leveled by Shortle in front of the Cape Breton bench. Heavy hit right there.
Typical Swan fashion. He pops right back up, though.
And Shortle back on it out here at neutral ice. He's going to spin. He'll send it off the boards back down to the Mooseheads end. The Schultz slows things down. Hands it off. 13:45 remaining here in period number 1. Shots are 6-2 in favor of the Mooseheads. And Swan will poke that one in. It was slid over to him by Fournier. Mooseheads trying to get some fresh legs out here as Swan heads to the bench. Cote will drive it back in down the right wing side, but had it knocked off of his stick by Jack Martin. Now Welsh on it for the Mooseheads. Trying to clear that one out. It will come to center ice. Julian Hebert, he was pressed there by Jack Martin, having himself a pretty solid little shift. He'll head off. Now Todd will take a bump. And the Eagles able to work it out to neutral ice. Delayed penalty coming up here. 12:58 remaining in this opening frame. Mooseheads on top here, 1-0.
Looks like Jake Todd getting the call for high sticking, perhaps, on that one. He'll take a seat in the box, and we'll mention that Todd is, last time we brought you a game, the team had not been set yet. The Mooseheads have now since announced their season opening roster, and Jake Todd a big part of it after being acquired from Chicoutimi.
Lavoie will hold the line right there as the Eagles try to go to work on the man advantage, but some great work from Biasca. A short-handed opportunity. Now Biasca dishes off the Swan. He shoots and scores. James Swan strikes short-handed, and the Mooseheads lead 2-0 here in the first.
What a setup from Attilio Biasca. He was pass all the way. You could see the way he took that lane, but he has been on fire to start this preseason, and Swan, the beneficiary of that setup, and made it look pretty easy on that 2-on-0 short-handed.
The Mooseheads on top here, 2-0. Goals from Swan and Schultz. That Swan marker. Shorty for the Herd, 30 seconds gone. And that penalty to Halifax's Todd. Phillips will send it back down to Eagles territory. It's Ruccia coming out to stop it back of the net. Now Catafort causing some issues right there at the Mooseheads line. Eagles able to force it back in. McKinnon after it here for Halifax. A bouncing puck off the side of the net, and there's a sharp angle chance as Hood just spins and puts it on goal. And Brady James will make the save and hang on to that one with 51 seconds now left on this Cape Breton power play. 11:49 remaining in the first period, and the Mooseheads leading 2-0.
Yeah, Biasca getting the lone assist on that James Swan goal. Swan's second of the preseason, and it's the second game in a row that Biasca's figured into some shorthanded scoring. He had a shorthanded goal of his own last week against St. John.
Rucci out to stop it there. He'll leave it for Lavoie, the first overall pick in the 2022 Q-League draft. McPhee trying to clear it out there, but Lavoie got the glove up, knocked that one down. He'll keep it onside here for the Eagles as Gravel tries to create some space. Gravel, top of the circle. He's going to find iron right there as that one pops up and over the goal. Johnson toward the slot. This one flipped back over for Johnson, the former Rouyn-Noranda Husky. That'll do it on the power play. Johnson with a look, lets a shot go, and James will make the save and grab a hold of that one.
Another piece of iron there. Luke Patterson and some of the other players had their arms in the air, thought Cape Breton had scored, but just couldn't beat the crossbar on that one. It remains 2-0 for the Mooseheads. Cape Breton's lineup tonight, you may notice their captain, Jeremy Langlois, not playing. He's away with Marcus Vidicek at the Arizona Coyotes rookie camp. He was a third-round pick of the Coyotes this past summer.
Ivan also right now at the Detroit Red Wings camp, and FJ Buteau in Buffalo.
Yeah, a couple of free agent invites, and I think the only maybe healthy scratch would be Roman Rudzinski, defenseman. They've got a bit of a log jam with their 20-year-olds now. He's probably the fourth 20 per se, but if Ivan or anybody else makes it in the pros, then I think Rudzinski would be the next man in.
Another penalty coming up here to the Mooseheads as McKinnon will make his way to the penalty box. So power play now as we approach the midway point of this opening frame. Mooseheads leading 2-0. 10:45 remains. There's Repchik letting a shot go. So it's a delay of game penalty to McKinnon. Another power play chance here for Cape Breton. So a draw down on the Mooseheads end. 9 seconds have ticked off that penalty to McKinnon. Gravel will take the draw for Cape Breton, lining up there against Catafor. Off the face-off, Martin will come away with possession, sends it off the wall, not out. A little rink-wide pass there. The stick at Catafor, able to poke that one out. He'll apply some pressures. It's going to be worked back at the Eagles' end for Lavoie. Lavoie up the left wing side. Eagles in transition here. We got the line. It's going to be floated over, but nobody there for Cape Breton. And more of that's quickly on it. He'll send that one deep for the Mooseheads.
Moravets has had an impressive outing so far. The fans getting a chance to see what we have here in the 19-year-old defenseman from Czechia.
Repchik creates a little bit of space, dishes off. Gravel will fire that one high. Lavoie slowing things down here. Takes a look. He'll hand it off now for Johnson. 42 seconds remaining on this power play. Johnson steps in and scores. And the Eagles strike in the power play. It's a 2-1 hockey game now. Cape Breton on the board.
Not much Brady James could do on that one. The puck's sitting point blank in front of him, and Johnson comes in and just hammers it home, and it's in the back of the net. So the Mooseheads lead cut in half here. That one with 39 seconds left in the power play. We talked a bit about the import players. Ivan for Cape Breton and Moravets with Halifax, highly touted import, Yuri Kulich, drafted 3rd overall by Cape Breton this past summer. He's a Buffalo first-round pick. Yet to see him in Cape Breton. I'm not sure what the story is, if he will be coming or not. His rights are retained by Cape Breton right now, but he's not been at Eagles camp this summer.
Welsh comes in down the right wing. Tried to work that one out front, and the Moose unable to get a stick on it. As Welsh battles along the boards, he's going to dish that one off. Peich will work that one back to the line as it's going to be taken down to the corner. Todd playing physical down there, deep in the Eagles' end. Shortle in control. His pass, it's broken up by Martin. Now Peich, he'll spin with it, takes a look, just plays it back down into the Mooseheads end there for McKenzie, and Peich will look up the right wing side, but Fournier not able to corral that one. It's going to be taken back the other way by Squires, who got bumped off the puck. Fournier going to fend off the check. He'll slide it up the right wing side, and now a little burst of speed up ice come the Moose as Moravets was able to punch that one in. Take a little contact for his efforts. Just back the other way. Phillips got his stick in there, caused a little bit of commotion at the blue line, and got a whistle on the offside with 8:11 remaining here in this opening frame. The Moose on top, 2-1. Goals from Brady Schultz and James Swan. Samuel Johnson answering back for Cape Breton.
Yeah, Luke Patterson and Zachary Gravel picking up the assists on that goal at the 10:29 mark, and the Eagles kind of gaining some momentum after a couple of back-to-back power plays. And they score again.
And the Eagles have evened things up here. Right off that draw, chance down the wing, and that will beat Brady James.
Yeah, Cam Squires comes in and fires a low one on James, and we're all evened up. Or
perhaps Justin Bergeron.
Yeah. It looked like I saw a 12, not a 2.
We are still working out a few bugs of our own. Tough night here with our usual miraculous setup from a great team. A few technical issues. We're working on it.
They really pulled through tonight, to be honest.
It's time we start pulling our weight as well. The Eagles will try to poke this one up ahead. It's going to be played to neutralize. McKinnon is there, and he was pressed by Shields. Little battle down there. McPhee took a stick, and that is going to rile him up. Not very pleased with that. Pushing and shoving. A few words down there by the Mooseheads bench, and it looks like Jordan Cote will make his way to the Cape Breton penalty box, and should be a Mooseheads power play right here.
Yep, Jordan Cote getting the hands up in the face with a little shot to McPhee, who's got something to say to him as he skates by the penalty box. And he's happy to stay out here on the power play and see if the Mooseheads can regain the lead.
So Catafore up front right now. He's got McPhee out here with him. Swan as well. Moravets on the back end with Biaskis. Moravets will let a shot go. Bergeron physical down there. That one kept in by Moravets. Handed off for Biaska, and he'll rip one that ends up off the glass as Moravets will work it back to Biaska. Great feed to Catafore. They score! The Mooseheads strike on the power play, and looks like McPhee got a little piece of that one as there was quite a bit of action down there around the crease of Nicholas Ruccia.
Yeah, great shot by Catafore and a little deflection by Braden McPhee after taking those hands to the face. He gets payback for that penalty by Jordan Cote, and the Mooseheads are back on top.
That was one of the last additions to the Mooseheads roster, coming over in a trade with Chicoutimi back in late August.
Also great to see Liam Welsh make the final cut, and the Halifax Max player will be a great addition to the fourth line for the Mooseheads when he's in the lineup.
Dodd will pick up that pass at the Mooseheads blue line. He's going to take it back up the right wing, just works it down toward the corner. Welsh will apply a little bit of pressure down there. And the Eagles now in control will look to break out a pass up ahead. Schultz stepping up out at center. We've got a whistle here. As the puck off of Schultz's stick there, just outside the blue line, creating some issues with 6:37 remaining in this opening period. Offside the call. 3-2 hockey game. Go-ahead goal from Braden McPhee. Brady Schultz and James Swan also with markers for the Moose. And now a chance for Fullerton down the right wing. Try to work that one out front. They score. Just a tough break right there for James. That one is going to deflect in. Looked like Fullerton was trying to center that one out front. But that ends up in the back of the net. And just like that, the Eagles have evened it up here.
Yeah, I think Brady James would have liked to have that one back. That's one you got to stop, and especially coming off a goal just moments ago. You keep that momentum going for the Mooseheads, so it's a bit of a killer, but we'll move on here. Like you said, 6:23 to go in the first period, and Mooseheads will look to get back on top once again.
Swan across the line. A big close on him right there. This puck worked out to neutral ice. It's going to be shoveled in by Hood. Picked up by Phillips. Phillips battling down there with Johnson. Puck sent back toward the point. That one will elude Xavier Day. He'll track back after it and partner it off. Lavoie sent it up ahead there. Boutin will chip that one in. Now Schultz will force it out through neutral ice as it's sent back into the Cape Breton end. Lavoie looks up the wing, spots Johnson. Worked over there for Boutin, back to Johnson, and Brady James gets across to deny that chance.
Yeah, good job by James on that one. Not a single sliver of net to shoot at for Johnson as he got across and completely cut off that angle. Matthew Catafor and Attilio Biasca, by the way, picking up the assists on that Braden McPhee goal a little earlier, and Cam Squires getting the assist on the latest goal from the Eagles from Angelo Fullerton.
Fullerton, pretty good little story as well coming to that Cape Breton camp. Really played his way onto the team. A player who wasn't drafted his first year of eligibility, but a bit of a growth spurt, shot up, put on some size. He's had a great year with the St. John Vitoes in the New Brunswick PEI U18 League last year.
And reunited with his buddy from Quispamsis, New Brunswick, Owen Arnold, who they traded for. Big defenseman, 6'5", with Cape Breton.
Now the Moose in transition as McPhee got tripped up there as he was just busting in down that right wing side, hauled down. And that will draw a penalty, and the Mooseheads back on the man advantage.
Braden McPhee making things happen out there tonight. He's drew another penalty earlier, scored on the power play, and now he draws another one, this time to Preston Pattengale.
So Catafor out now with Crosby and Swan. Moravets on the back end, along with Attilio Biasca on this power play. Puck will be sent back up top. Moravets, quick little pass over there for Catafor in front. They scored. James Swan strikes on the power play for the Mooseheads in Halifax with the lead once again.
And that's a pretty one from James Swan. The setup from Moravets to Matthew Catafor. And Swan finishes it off with a beautiful goal in front. His second of the night, and Catafor's got 3 points.
So a short-handed marker and a power play goal here for James Swan so far in this one. Swan coming off a season in which posted 21 points in 56 games. Probably not the season that he would have liked, but another guy, you know, he's got some high expectations for himself coming into this year.
Yeah, you know that's going to go up, and one thing is for certain, Swan is going to be very hard to play against in this league. He's now 18 years old. You could see it when he came into the league as a 16. The older he gets in this league, the more people are going to dislike playing against James Swan. He's a hard worker.
No doubt about that. 4:18 remaining here in this opening period. Plenty of scoring in this first frame. 4-3 score. The Mooseheads leading. Shots are 10-8 in favor of the Herd. It's just one will be rimmed around toward the right point for Lavoie. He'll hand that one off. A shot on goal. That was stopped by James. Moravets will bump it off the end boards for Phillips. Looks up the left wing side and finds Crosby. Crosby will hand it off there for Swan. He's going to drive it in. Dropped off. Fournier's pass. That'll be broken up on the way through, but the Moose hold the line as Schultz will get there. Sends it in deep. Daigle working off those end boards for Lavoie. He was pressed. Crosby throws it in front, and Fournier with a couple of whacks in tight. But Ruccia down, able to keep that one out, and he'll shut the door with 3:41 left here in this opening period.
Mooseheads got to have that momentum back after losing it briefly, and they've kind of buzzing out there now after scoring that latest goal. And like I said, Matthew Catafor, 3 points on the night. He's now got 8 in the preseason. And David Moravets picking up an assist on that power play marker by James Swan.
So Todd back out here with Welsh and Peitsch as the Eagles came away with the puck off that face-off. Played it to neutralize. Johnson in possession now, but Boutin just step or two inside, so a whistle right there and a break in the action.
We mentioned earlier, 6 Mooseheads away at NHL rookie camps, all expected to return to the team, of course, within the next couple of weeks. Zach Leroux with Nashville, Dumais with Columbus, Cam Wynot and Evan Boucher with Calgary, Jake Furlong with the San Jose Sharks, and Marcus Vidicek with the Arizona Coyotes. And I believe all players, in fact, are on the ice playing rookie tournament games today.
Really great to see Evan Boucher get that free agent invite. What a second half for him last year.
Yeah, unbelievable start to his major junior hockey league career with the Mooseheads after coming over from the Brockville Braves. He really lit it up goal scoring wise. Excited to see what he can do with a full season in a Mooseheads uniform this year.
25 goals, 37 games. I believe just some ridiculous numbers. And he started things off with quite a bang there as well. And of course had that OT winner in his first game.
And reportedly turned some heads at development camp with Calgary earlier this summer as well. So they're happy to have him back for rookie camp.
It's great to see Boutin back here for Shortle. Shortle on the back end will just flip one in on Brady James, and that's an easy stop for the Mooseheads netminder, who grabs a hold of that one. 2:43 remaining in period number 1. So it's the Charlottetown Islanders next Friday. That'll be an interesting game, of course.
Home and home to start it off in Charlottetown the following day.
Charlottetown, of course, they were all in last year. Rebuild kind of underway, but I don't
still
think,
have some pieces.
No doubt about that, and you can never take those Bolton teams lightly at all. He gets everything out of his players.
Yeah, exactly. The whole Maritimes division is, supposedly taking a step back, aside to the Mooseheads are on the way up, with some of the other teams have taken a step back, but Cape Breton will work hard, Moncton will work hard, Charlottetown will work hard as well.
The Moncton team wasn't fun to play against last year either, and still lots of talented pieces on that St. John's side.
The net is off, that's why the play was blown down.
Of course, the Agony Bathurst, they got quite a few pieces coming back right now as well after probably not entirely pleased with the way that Charlottetown series went last year after they were able to battle their way back against the Mooseheads, but still a lot of talent on that side, and obviously some big decisions to be made there after a year in which they kind of had a lot of their chips in.
Yeah, they could hold a couple of the biggest pieces at Christmas time at the trade deadline, and Jacob Melanson and Riley Kidney and some others.
And a big save right there from Ruccia right off of that face-off. Big bad stop, and again, seems to be a few issues with that net back of Ruccia. 2:05 remains. Shots 11-10 in favor of the Moose. A 4-3 score. James Swan with the go-ahead goal, his third of the preseason, second of the evening. That one coming on the power play. Matthew Catafor and David Moravets with the assists. And that point there for Moravets, his first in a Moosehead sweater. Of course, it is just the preseason, but we'll take it.
Yeah, like what we've seen from him so far.
No
Moves the puck well, and he looks good on the power play as well.
Absolutely looking forward to seeing him in regular season game action as Crosby will hand this one off for Fournier down there in the corner. He'll pull up, shakes his check, and sends it back toward the line, and that one just kind of dribbled there on Phillips, who wasn't able to keep it onside. So another whistle and break in the action as we're down to 93 seconds remaining in this fifth and final preseason game for the Mooseheads, who come into this game 3-1 here in the preseason, but right now actually getting outscored despite that record. Outscored 12-16, and I'd say that first game against the Eagles at 8-0 dropping, that has a bit to do with that.
Yeah, it was a bit of an anomaly as well. Moose, it was early in camp, didn't send their best roster, and Cape Breton had some of their veterans in the lineup, so we won't put that one on the Moose too bad there.
Well, very young Mooseheads line up, and Charles Boutin decided to have a bit of a career night in that game as well. 5-goal evening for the former Blainville-Boisbriand Armada. A little battle down there around the Mooseheads bench. This one going to come free, and it's going to be broken up there by Beitsch, who will force it out to neutral ice, but ends up turning that one over, and it's going to be sent right back in as Shortle fired that one all the way back down to the Mooseheads end.
Charles
An
Boutin,
icy charge here to Cape Breton, of course.
one of many, many new faces on this team this year. Several trades over the summer for new general manager Sylvain Couturier coming over from the Acadie Bathurst Titan and really giving this rebuild a kickstart, the one they needed. They had 3 picks in the top 13, I believe, of the QMJHL entry draft, and he's made several good moves. Brought in, Zachary Gravel, a 20-year-old, excellent pickup as well.
Yeah, certainly putting his stamp on this team, that is for sure. And of course, it has been an issue at times, unfortunately, for the Eagles in recent years, getting some of those high picks to report. But that's
encouraging.
Certainly that is not an issue this year. Great to see. That's a huge positive there for fans in Cape Breton. They've got a loyal fan base, and some great news for them as Catafor will try to float that one rink wide for Phillips. Phillips back out to neutral ice. He'll pull up right there, works it up the right wing side, and the Eagles again will force it out. Moravec was back on it, couldn't get it past Johnson. He's in control now as he works it back toward the left point for Arnold. Arnold back to Johnson. Johnson poked at there by Moravec. Time ticking down, a shot, and a big chance here in the dying moments for the Cape Breton Eagles.
Another one off the iron. I think that's 3 off the iron this period.
So a 4-3 score here through 20 minutes of play. Brady Schultz, Braden McPhee, and James Swan, who's got a pair. They've got the markers for the Mooseheads in this one. Samuel Johnson, Justin Bergeron, and Angelo Fullerton answering back for the Eagles. 11-10 the shots in that first period in favor of the Moose. As we take a little break, we'll be back in a bit with second period action here as you're watching the 2022 Mooseheads training camp presented by Eastlink. Welcome back to the 2022 Mooseheads Training Camp presented by Eastlink here on the official YouTube channel of the Halifax Mooseheads. Garrett McDonald, Scott McIntosh back with you for second period action. Scotty, lots of scoring in that opening frame.
Yeah, I think the goaltenders would like it if the second period had a little less scoring. 4-3 for the Mooseheads after 20 minutes. The 11-10 are the shots for Halifax.
Sam Johnson down this right wing side. He tried to work one over there that went off a stick, and now it's going to be picked up by Fournier. Head for Crosby. Comes in down this right wing side. His pass was off a skate. Little bouncy puck right there, and Swan will try to shovel that one in. It's going to be scooped up by Lavoie. Try to bump it over there for Bergeron, pardon me. But Mooseheads hard on the forecheck. Crosby getting a little physical down there in the corner. Swan will knock that one. Pardon me, Brady James rather knocking that one aside as Fournier picks it up for the Moose. His pass off his skate. And now Gravel will step out and lets a shot go right on. It will end up deflecting away. Mooseheads in transition. It's Crosby on it. And that'll just be sent in deep, and the Moose will try to get some fresh legs out here as the Eagles will break out. Ahead for Repchik. Repchik, his pass doesn't connect. Biasca will whack it off the boards, and that'll roll back down to Eagles territory as McPhee applies a little pressure. Set up ahead now for Squires. Squires pulling up. The temperature rising a bit here. It's just been a physical start to this second period.
Yeah, plenty of boards rattling here in the second period.
Pretty good pop to this middle frame as Moravets lets one rip, and that is gloved and held on to as Ruccia snagged a hold of that one.
Nice glove save by Ruccia as a lane kind of opened up for Moravets, and he let one fly again. We've seen him all over the action here so far this evening. And speaking of all over the action, Matthew Catafor with 3 assists now, 8 points this preseason for Catafor for the Mooseheads to lead the team in scoring. He's got a goal and 7 helpers.
Loose puck down here in the Mooseheads corner. That will be picked off in front and taken up ahead now by Martin. He's got the red line. He'll play it in deep and hustle after it down there. And Desrousseau works that one ahead for Patterson. He had a great opportunity right there. Patterson, the MVP at the Telus Cup for the Moncton Flyers. What a tournament for him. What a great year. Another guy that's looking forward to his first season in the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League. Todd will send that one down into Eagles territory. McKinnon on it for the Mooseheads. Plays it in front on the backhand. Catafor, and that is going to be stopped there by Ruccia. Catafor is getting a little cheeky down there around the Cape Breton goal.
Tricky little shot, and then a little pushing and shoving from the first-round pick, Desrousseau, with Mooseheads call up Ben Wallace. Wallace, of course, as we said, with Dominic McKenzie and Cade Mosier, the 3 call-ups here tonight, all from the week's U18 Crushers.
Catafor pulls that one back. Schultz now will dish it off there for McKinnon. Bumps it down the boards. Catafor trying to work it back there for McKinnon, and that got away from him. Brady James will send it up ahead now. Was looking for Moser out there at neutral ice. Hebert in transition now. Looking to dish one off. A little scramble in front. They score. Brady James unable to find that one. It's going to be poked across the line. And once again, all level here in Dartmouth, the tie hockey game.
Yeah, that one just kind of squeaked away from James, and the Mooseheads couldn't get a stick on it. And see, it just trickles over the line. A good play by Will Shields to stick with it after really being sandwiched along the boards. Matthew Catafor and Dylan McKinnon in on that hit, but he stuck with it, popped back out, and was able to get the puck in front.
Off the faceoff, Gravel back in his end. He'll hand it off. Pass up ahead for Johnson. He was reaching for it and not quite able to get a stick on that one. So we'll make our way back down to the Cape Breton territory here for a faceoff.
We are all even. 4-4 shots, 13-13.
Johnson dropping that one off. There's a shot, and Brady James reaching up, got the glove up. An opportunity here is in front, creating a little bit of space for himself was Olivier Hood, another guy that just had a phenomenal camp for Cape Breton. Opened up a lot of eyes here at training camp for the Eagles. Gravel will let a shot go, and that's steered aside by Brady James. And the Mooseheads will send this one back down. Arnold off the boards. Knocked down out here at center ice by Phillips. Phillips able to spot Crosby. Crosby's got a little bit of help here with him, but he'll slow things down. Plays it down the wall for Swan. Swan had that one stripped away as Johnson works it up ice. It'll be flipped in by Gravel. Took a little poke there for his efforts as he heads off in a change. And there's another icing charge here to Halifax as everybody going to stop moving out there with 15-12 remaining in this second period. Draw will come back down into Mooseheads territory. A 4-4 score. Brady Schultz opening the scoring in this one. It was an even strength goal. Then James Swan striking short-handed for the Mooseheads. Real nice setup on that one from Attilio Biasca. Swan scoring again in that first period. Before time ticked down, a power play marker. Braden McPhee with a goal as well for the Mooseheads.
I would expect we'd see Brady James for the full 60 minutes here tonight as well. Matthias Rousseau had the full game last time out, and James has only played 30 minutes of preseason action coming into tonight.
Yeah, Rousseau stopping 31-34 last Friday night in that 5-3 win over the St. John Sea Dogs. And Fredericton, Fournier down here in the corner. Had to send one in front, and that was deflected away. Martin plays it in deep. McPhee after it, tied up down there by Shortle. And the Eagles will throw it back the other way, and McKinnon back here for Halifax. We'll get a whistle. This is another icing charge, and it's going against the Cape Breton Eagles.
Hard to get some flow going here early in the second period. Just over 5 minutes into this one, and a lot of icing calls.
Yeah, kind of a physical start those first couple of shifts, but you're right, the pace now slowing down a bit. Lots of whistles, lots of breaks in the action, and few icings here consecutively as Catafor takes that draw. Loose puck off the face-off. McPhee battling. Comes loose for Fullerton. Sent off the end boards, and there's a pass up ahead. That one's going to roll down. That was kind of wide of the net there as it popped out. And Repchik was hustling after it. It was almost a dangerous one for Brady James and the Mooseheads. Up now for Biasca. Biasca down the middle, a shot. And that one's stopped by Ruccia.
Biasca fighting the puck all the way there, but able to get a shot.
Nifty handles here from Catafor. My goodness. Stick handling in a phone booth out there. Just some real pretty stuff as he kept that one outside. Out there, Rousseau back the other way, trying to drop that one off. A collision along the boards as this one will come loose, and it's McPhee on it. Moves it for Biasca, ahead for Schultz, who kind of mishandles that one. He'll take it back down to his end. He was pressed there, but he was able to hand it off for McKinnon to Catafor, and that'll be dumped in as the Mooseheads try to get a wholesale change in now. Up for DeRousseau, the 13th player taken in the last Q draft. And one of 3 first-rounders in the lineup here tonight for the Cape Breton Eagles. Welsh, the former Halifax McDonald, got it across the line, but the Moose not able to do too much with it down there in the Cape Breton end, and the Eagles will send this back toward the crease of Brady James, and he's forced to get the glove on top of that one and hang on to it with 12:42 remaining in this middle period. 15-14 now the shots in favor of the visiting team.
Thomas DeRousseau, as you mentioned, the 13th overall pick of this past draft. Will Shields, also one of those top first-round picks, and Thomas Lavoie, the defenseman, highly touted. He was the #1 overall pick for the Cape Breton Eagles, and people are saying great things about Lavoie.
Impressive, big right shooting defenseman, 6'3", over 200 pounds. Be a dominant player in this league as Moravets puts in work down there and is battling with Cote, who ends up on his backside. And Welsh poking at it. He gets run over. We got a penalty coming up right now. It's going to be a hooking call and power play opportunity coming up here. And the Mooseheads will have to try to kill one. It's going to be Reese Peich off to the penalty box.
It's hard to pick that one up with all the physicality going on. A big hit by Owen Arnold on Liam Welsh, and in amongst the mix was Peich with the hook, and the Mooseheads will go back to work on the PK.
Moravets pretty physical in that last sequence as well. Some good work along the boards. Tangling up there with Cote. So Luke Patterson will take this face-off. Former teammate of Jack Martin, Dylan McKinnon. Had a big part of that Moncton Flyers program last year. Down low, it's Zachary Gravel. No number change that we saw Squires with the 21 last game as DeRousseau plays it up there for Lavoie. Lets a shot go. A little bouncer down there around the net. And Netmine are able to cover that one up as James gets the glove on it, and he will hang on to it. Approaching the midway point up this second period. 28 seconds down on that hooking penalty to Halifax's Reese Peich.
Mooseheads will make a change here, bringing out Catafor, Crosby, Phillips, and Schultz on the PK.
We'll go up against Patterson, Gravel, and DeRousseau. Lavoie on the blue line here for Cape Breton. Back here is, well, it's Samuel Johnson, and we get a pass up ahead as Johnson. He'll move that puck. Gravel will spin with it for Johnson to Lavoie. Over for DeRousseau. DeRousseau's pass. It's off the stick of Catafor. And the Mooseheads will clear that one away as Ruccia knocks it down. He'll leave it for Lavoie. 55 seconds now left on this Cape Breton power play. Johnson. Force his way in with it. Try to swing that one rink wide. Broken up by Schultz, and another good clear here for the Herd.
Yeah, good PK so far.
Down to 30 seconds left on that Peich penalty. And Dylan McKinnon, he had Shields lined up right there, and Shields just kind of pulling up, and McKinnon perhaps pulling up there as well on that one.
Yeah, good choice to pull up a little bit, but let them know that you're there.
Hood will make his way back in down this left wing side. Back there for Schultz. Snapped the shot, and that was blocking the way through. And that penalty to Peich now over. They'll head to the bench, and McPhee comes out in his place as we return to five-a-side hockey. Shields will bump it off the wall down to the corner. There was a little centering effort, and That was paddled away by James. Moravet's back the other way for Biasca. Lets a shot go, and that one will end up in that protective netting back of the Cape Breton net.
Nice penalty kill for Halifax, and kind of got lucky with a nice stop or a nice paddle away, as you said, by Brady James there. As Cam Squires found himself all alone in front. Could have been dangerous for Halifax to have him in that position. Like we said, home opener, 1 week away. 1 week from tonight, Halifax will be hosting the Charlottetown Islanders. Individual tickets now on sale, ticketatlantic.com.
.935 left here in this second period. Puck played to center. And it's Repchik on it. Makes his way past McKenzie. Try to center one in front. Eagles still in control, but that one will be turned over, and it's going to be cleared out by Todd. Biasca. Yes, Martin will step up with it. Forced it in, quickly played back out. Martin right back on it. Trying to hand it off there at the line for Catafor, but that long change here in the second period. That's going to result in an offside charge to the Mooseheads. Again, mentioned, of course, a lot of those guys that are away right now at camps, they are in action right now as we speak. So been trying to track a bit of that action.
It's not easy to find online sometimes with these rookie tournaments with the scoring summaries, but we do know that Nashville won 5-2 over Tampa Bay, and I think Garrett's looking at a tweet from agent Alan Walsh right now.
Apparently Zach LaRue with quite a game, so we'll have to try to see if we can find some stats from that one, maybe during the second intermission. Again, like you said, not exactly easy if you're not following it live.
Exactly, with these rookie tournaments all over the place, but 6 Mooseheads in action today, including Evan Boucher and Cam Wynot with Calgary, and Jordan Dumais with Columbus, LaRue in Nashville, Jake Furlong with San Jose, and Marcus Vidicek with Arizona.
Yeah. Internet coverage in here also not the best, as Crosby will take this one in. He had Fournier in front and wasn't quite able to find the stick right there. Fournier not able to get a handle on it. A solid look there from Crosby, who certainly had quite a start to training camp this year.
Yeah, he was the story to get things going, and continues to be. His added strength and speed, he's going to be, playing a lot more in this lineup this season, and excited to see what year 2 brings for Logan Crosby with the Mooseheads.
7:36 now left here in this middle period. Another whistle. A 4-4 score. Shots are 16-14 in favor of Cape Breton.
A couple other games.
The Mooseheads 6-3 here in the second period.
Yeah, a couple other games underway so far. It's Drummondville up 1-0 over Sherbrooke in the first. And Shawinigan leading Victoriaville 1-0 in the first.
Welsh off the wall and quickly knocked back out. Fullerton will look rink wide there, and that's an offside call. As we rack up a few more whistles in this middle period.
Yeah, slow going here with 7:20 to go in the second period, but much less scoring. It was 4-3 Mooseheads after one period of play. We see it tied at 4 now after that latest one from Cape Breton to knot things up, and doing a good job of kind of clogging up the zone right now.
And a little bit of chippy stuff off the draw as Wallace was going at it right there with DeRousseau. Gave him a couple of whacks, but DeRousseau on it. He's going to dish that one off for Patterson. Patterson will make his way in, and he had Schultz step up on him. There's his shot, and that one ripped on goal by Preston Pattengale. That'll be stopped and held on to by James.
Nice read by James there to get across and get it right in the breadbasket off the shot by Pattengale.
Pattengale In his 18-year-old season here. This will be his first with the Eagles. He's a local guy. Played with the Sydney Rush last year, the Nova Scotia U18 Major Hockey League. Likely could have played Junior A, but last year the Rush hosting the TELUS Cup, so stuck around and, of course, was a big part of that team last year.
And the one local player on this team this year from Sydney for Cape Breton.
Now Pattengale will drive his way in. Dished off, a shot, big save right there from Brady James as he knocked away that Patterson opportunity. Wallace, he'll take a look, and he sends that one wide. It's going to be stopped there at the line by Martin. He'll shovel it wide of the goal. Biasca will force it back in deep. Cataford down there to scoop it up for the Mooseheads. Trying to work it back down for McPhee in the corner. That'll be played up top. Over now to Martin, and that one just kind of floating over on him. Going to whack that out of midair, and it's going to be covered up here by Ruccio. Gets the glove on it with 6:09 left now in this second period.
And Jack Martin is one of those new faces on the back end this season for the Halifax Mooseheads. A draft pick from the year previous. Had a big year with the Moncton Flyers with the TELUS Cup win. Played a big part in getting them there. A couple of hat tricks in the playoffs. OT winner. He is one of the bright new faces, along with Moravets and Phillips. And of course that meant the departure of 20-year-old Stephen Davis, who we know and love. Great guy. We're going to miss him around here, but Mooseheads making the right choices with the future on the blue line right now, I believe. You know, they kind of forced to make that move, whether they want it to or not, but it's, Owen Phillips looks like the real deal. Moravets is going to be a big-time player for them, and Jack Martin really forced their hand because he's been a great addition to the squad.
Yeah, definitely going to miss seeing Stephen Davis. Just an absolute fan favorite, a treat to deal with. Best interview on the team, no doubt. I mean, unbelievable. And
we'll see him on TV before too long.
Just such a talented guy, real intelligent kid, great player on the ice, great guy, better guy. It's a bit of a cliche right there, but in this case, certainly true. Just unbelievable guy. Off the ice, and we wish Stephen Davis nothing but the best. We know he will be very successful in
absolutely
whatever he does next, for sure.
One of those two final cuts was him and goaltender Jack Milner. It sounds like Milner might get the starting job in Truro with Junior A this year.
And he was phenomenal last year for the Cape Breton West Islanders, a big part of their incredible run. An 8th-place team in the playoffs, and Milner,
MVP of the playoffs.
Just taking them all the way to the final. Comes back to the line. Lavoie will whistle one wide of the net. A little bouncy puck in front. That'll dribble in toward Brady James, and he's going to cover it up with 5:22 left now in this second period.
Yeah, excited to see Milner here at some point in the future. Speaking of great guys, everyone raves about the personality and the maturity of Jack Milner. So very fortunate to have him in the system and making his way here at some point as well. He'll be welcomed by the team.
Schultz will send that one around. Crosby poked it out, and he's going to take a hit along the boards. Just he had Hood step up on him. Now McKinnon will get going as he works it up the right wing side for Fournier. And Bagel take that away from him. Schultz comes in down the wing, tries to drop it there for Crosby. Schultz over to Fournier. Fournier will bump it down the boards. Crosby, that pass, broke it up. Crosby will force a turnover. A shot stopped by Ruccio. Johnson on it, and he's going to turn this one over. Schultz will let it go, and reaching up with the blocker there was Ruccio. Fournier behind the net for Crosby, took a bump. And Johnson will fire it off a shin pad and out. Bit of a foot race now. Martin's hustling after it down there, and he's going to win his battle in the corner. Comes away with it.
That was a great shift for Logan Crosby.
Fantastic stuff from Logan Crosby as James Swan will play it on the backhand. That was off of Peich. Peich now will work it back toward the point. McKenzie kept that one alive. Peich will try to spot Fournier. Johnson. Handed that one off there for Squires, trying to step out front from the corner. Nice little cut. Cleared away here. That one was elevated out by Welsh. Now cross ice, Peich for Welsh. Welsh jams on the brakes. And a little break in the action here with 3:15 remaining. And Mooseheads on a power play. Peter Repchik is going to make his way to the box. A cross-checking call to him.
I believe it may have been slashing. Not to split hairs with you there, Gareth.
I understand. You want to make the right call. I appreciate you stepping in right there. It's very important information.
Well, the Mooseheads looking to regain the lead here. They haven't scored this period after scoring 4 in the first, and here's their chance to get a little momentum back in their favor with 3:15 to go in the second period.
3:15 remaining. The slashing penalty to Peter Repchik is Catafor. Hands that one off. It's going to be taken back of the net by Moravets. Moravets will cut just inside the line, pulls up though, and that's going to result in an offside charge here to Halifax. 23 seconds into this Mooseheads power play.
Biasca just a step offside there as Moravets showing us what he's got for some wheels as he carries the puck across the blue line.
Catafor will pull that one back. Biasca will pick it up. The Mooseheads will set up down on their own end here as Moravets slows things down for Catafor. Now Moravets is going to send that one in deep. Bit of a foot race here. And physical play down there from Swan as he laid the body on Daig. And some of Daig's teammates taking exception. A little bouncing puck there in front. And now Swan mauled by Cote, who grabs a hold of him. And it's not just Cote down there. All kinds of Eagles going right after Swan after that big collision down in the Cape Breton corner.
As we said earlier, you're not going to like playing against James Swan this season. He had a little hit. Cote went after him, and then he really took his chance to go after Swan after he was digging for a loose puck in amongst Ruccia there, and the Eagles bench was yelling for a penalty for a hit from behind, but I think he turned at the last second. It was a clean hit, and no harm, no foul.
McKinnon's going to move this one for Schultz, and Schultz at the line. Snapped right on goal by Peich, and that was kicked out by Ruccia. Another penalty coming up here to the Eagles as Fullerton got in there and grabbed a hold of McPhee. The helmet goes flying, and those two likely know each other from New Brunswick minor hockey.
Yeah, exactly. They're jawing back and forth, and the Eagles will be lucky not to pick up 2 more penalties here after that exchange with Fullerton, but the Mooseheads will have a 5-on-3 for at least 44 seconds.
So Connor Shortle is going to head off right now.
Looks like Fullerton might join him. Possibly a misconduct for Fullerton. A little Battle of Nova Scotia action never hurt anybody in September preseason.
There are a couple of teams who will be seeing plenty of each other. Lots of time to get sick of one another before this year is up, that's for sure.
Makes it fun for us, doesn't it?
The hostilities will no doubt continue to rise. Check back in February.
That's
we'll see
right.
how we're doing. A minute 59 left here in this middle period. Mooseheads with a big opportunity now. 2 minutes on the board for Shortle. And still some time remaining on that initial penalty, that slash to Repchik. So a two-man advantage here for the Moose. Catafor. Work down low. There's a pass over for Biasca. And Aruccia shutting the door with a minute 28 remaining here in this second.
So Shortle gets 2 for interference and a 10-minute misconduct. They've yet to announce the Fullerton penalty.
So Swan, who kind of helped the temperature rise here in the lake going with his check down to the corner. He's out to take this draw for the Mooseheads, and he's able to play it back now for Catafor. Moravich for Biasca. That's off of Arnold. Bouncing puck. And the net back of Aruccia knocked off. And looks like the water bottle ends up in the back of the cage as well. So we get a break in the action here with that time continuing to tick down in the second period.
Yeah.
A slower one than the first, Scott.
Minute 16 to go. It has been pretty choppy this period, and just 1 second left in the 5-on-3 for the Mooseheads, and a minute 17 on the Shortle penalty.
So Repchik heading to the Eagles bench and replaced out there. And a whistle there as we had a bit of a foot race.
Well, there shouldn't be an icing, should there?
I was kind of watching the penalty box. That was a strange one.
Nonetheless, a face-off deep for the Mooseheads.
Unless maybe it went off of somebody over at the bench, perhaps. Again, strange here with a minute left on this Halifax power play. Comes back toward the point. It's worked off now for Fournier. Fournier for Phillips. Phillips takes a look. There's a opportunity at the side of the net, and a great chance right now for the Mooseheads. Just Fournier lets the shot rip, and that one blocked on the way through by Bergeron. Schultz for Fournier, dished off. And that's played off for Phillips. And now things testy over there is Phillips certainly getting roughed up. And they did get a bit of a kick out of it. I think that was that Repchik that was going to grab the stick that was on the ice. That was leading to the great opportunity for the Mooseheads. It was a 5-on-4, but kind of briefly 5-on-3 is possibly Gravel without the stick. Regardless, goes to grab it, and Steven Starsomsky, the referee, grabbed a hold of it first and snapped it over his knees.
Bo Jackson.
Looks like it was, it was obviously damaged goods, I would assume. But
yeah. Well, adding to a bit of this chaos in the final couple minutes of this period.
And that one will be cleared out. Schultz will track back after it. Here to collect it. He'll take it back of the net. There's 14 seconds remaining. It's played out to neutral ice. Daigle will snap it right back in. And Swan on it. Working on a 2-goal evening as James Swan, as time ticks away here in period number 2. A 4-4 score through 40 minutes of play. Just the 1 goal in that middle frame, and it came off the stick of Jordan Cote. His first of the preseason, Julian Hebert and William Shields with the assists on that one. So that evens things up here at 4. We will be back with third period action coming up in just a bit after a little break. You're watching the 2022 Mooseheads Training Camp presented by Eastlink on the official YouTube channel of the Mooseheads. Check. And action right back underway here in Dartmouth. Third period just getting going. And right off that opening face-off, Scotty, the Mooseheads with a pretty solid chance.
Yeah, Gio DiMattia in goal now for Cape Breton, getting a little taste of action right off the bat.
Lavoie. And looked like the stick of McKinnon may have came up there as she was going at it with Lavoie after a little collision at the blue line and things kind of continuing.
Yeah, a little behind the play there, and Dylan McKinnon giving a little extra shot to the face of Lavoie as he skated away, and the referee had a clear sight line on that one, and McKinnon will head off for roughing for 2 minutes.
So Luke Patterson will take this face-off here for Cape Breton. Power play here for the Eagles after they killed off a couple. Biasca back up ice for the Moose to Swan a shot. And those two looking to recreate a little bit of that first period shorthanded magic.
I was about to say shorthanded magicians, and they're at it again with that 2-on-1.
And now it's Martin's turn as he looks for Biasca, and DiMattia will keep that one out somehow.
Cape Breton bench loving the goaltending from DiMattia so far.
Gravel will rim that one around. Count of 4. The Eagles come away with it. There's a little centering feed, which into the skates of Gravel. Johnson will spin with it. Lets a shot go, and that one will end up in the protective netting. So a break in the action. A minute 17 left on that penalty to Halifax is Dylan McKinnon. 18:44 remaining here in this third period.
Mooseheads getting better chances on this shorthanded opportunity than they did on the 5-on-3 towards the end of the second period, where they squandered the opportunity to regain the lead.
Right off the face-off, couple of consecutive chances here for the Eagles. Daig for Squires, right back to Xavier Daig. Eagles trying to set up here this power play. There's a hard shot. Minute to go on the man advantage. Back to Daig at the line. He'll move it, gets it right back, hands it off now. Squires, little rink-wide feed. There's a shot, and James with the stop. It was Boutin trying to work it down to the corner. He'll come in, trying to help out now and trying to open up a lane. Dishes off, and James gets a piece of that one as he comes back now for Squires. Squires had Phillips on him. Crosby causing some issues for the Eagles at the line, but Cape Breton maintains control. Hood spins with it, and he's going to ring that one off the post. And more iron in this hockey game.
Yeah, plenty of iron and all at this end of the ice for behind Brady James so far this game. And I think that's 4 that Cape Breton has rung off the iron. They could score could look a little different than it does right now. 4-4 game with 17:43 to go in the third and final period.
So another draw here in the Mooseheads end. Julian Hebert will take this face off. Spent some time with Chicoutimi last season. He's spent some time with a few different clubs here in the Q, with a little stint in Baie-Comeau, was in Moncton as well for a bit, and now finds himself here with the Eagles, his 4th Q League team.
He's a hard worker.
No doubt about it, yeah. Not an easy guy to play against at all. That one fired out. Down to 6 seconds remaining here on that penalty to Halifax is Dylan McKinnon. It's Arnold handing that one off. Bergeron. Work it back for Arnold. Flipped up the right wing side. Hebert will skate this one in. Looks cross ice now for Repchik. He was bumped. Flipped over now for Arnold. He'll fire one. That ripped way wide. And now it's Peich. And he'll try to hit Welsh with one. Steered down toward the corner. Martin on it now for the Mooseheads. Little centering feed for Todd. And a great look right there for Jake Todd.
And he hits iron at that end.
Peitsch will head off at a change here as this one will be sent to neutral ice, and it was Swan off the bench, and he's going to drive his way toward the net. He scores! James Swan with a pretty one, and that will complete the hat trick as the Mooseheads are back on top.
That was a determined effort by James Swan. He would not be denied as he weaved his way through traffic and finished it off in style. What a goal for his hat trick. Goal to finish that one off tonight. And the Mooseheads back on top.
Great little burst there from James Swan. We saw him score a shorty and a power play goal back in the first period, and has now completed the hat trick as the Eagles look for a response. A shot right on, and Brady James will make the save on that one. Hangs on to it, and Mooseheads will have to contend here with a defensive zone draw with 16:10 remaining in period number 3.
Interested to see if the physicality continues this period that we saw towards the end of that second period, where things got a little heated at times, and a couple of penalties that were not announced were the unsportsmanlikes to Braden McPhee had one, and Connor Shortle.
So Welsh looking for Biaski. He's going to chip one toward the net, and that was shrugged off by Dematia. Brady Schultz will take this one back at the goal. And now we'll move it up that right wing side for Catafor, who's got the line. Lets a shot go, ripped that one right on. It was off the right pad of Dematia, and it's Gravel taking it back the other way here for the Eagles. He'll fire one, and stopped by James. Scramble there in front. Some sticks poking away at that one, and things getting a little testy down there around the net of Brady James after the Eagles got a couple of extra whacks in right around that whistle.
Good stop by Brady James on that one. He didn't quite know where it was after he made the save as it dropped down by his right pad, and everyone converged, and the resulting scrum there as you see Schultz get all tangled up with Johnson.
So 15:28 remains here in this final frame. Shots are 23-20 in favor of the Eagles, who trail the Mooseheads 5-3. Halifax with goals from James Swan. He's got a hat trick. Brady Schultz opening the scoring for the Moose back in the first. Braden McPhee also with a marker for the Mooseheads in that opening frame. Eagles looking for an answer now as Dag will make his way around the Mooseheads end. It's going to be played up top now for Arnold. Little dribbler off of his stick, and it's knocked ahead for Peitsch. Reese Peitsch, a pass over there for Martin, and a little collision down there in the corner as Martin was off the boards at Catafor. We'll see what comes of this after a pretty solid bump there on DeRousseau as Catafor had him dead to rights in that lane.
Yeah, and Dag taking exception afterwards and giving a little shot to Catafor as it looks like things are going to heat up here again.
Catafor will get pinned up down there briefly by Bergeron. It's going to roll down into Mooseheads territory, and it's McKinnon back on it. So an icing call to the Cape Breton Eagles with 5 minutes and 34 seconds down in this third period. Mooseheads leading 5-4. And again, Catafor, he kind of pulled up there a bit, I think.
Yeah, I think he was probably would have had a charging call if he went full force on him, because he had him lined in the trolley tracks.
McKinnon off the face-off. He's going to just wrist one down there on Dematia, and he's going to grab a hold of that one. And another ozone draw here for the Moose. McKinnon on the back end here with David Moravec. Up front, it's Catafor. He's flanked by Wallace and Welsh.
With Wallace and Cote kind of having words, lifting sticks at the face-off circle there. Wallace has done a good job of getting under some skin tonight in his call-up.
Oh, and McKinnon took a little run there at Cote as he tried to get around him. And there's a shot. They score. That one will squeak through Brady James, and the Cape Breton Eagles answer back as Shields finds a little bit of daylight right there, and it's a 5-5 hockey game here in this third period.
Yeah, and Brady James, again, like to have that one back. Just a low shot right along the ice that beats him as he kind of hangs his head and gathers his thoughts after that one. The Mooseheads will have to work to regain the lead here.
So James Swan coming out now with Logan Crosby and Brody Fournier. Schultz in the Mooseheads end. He will send one up that right wing side. It was off the stick of Repchik. Poke back into Mooseheads territory as Squires was able to force that one down the boards. Swan is looking for Schultz right there, and Schultz not quite able to handle it. Now Lavoie. Kind of play that one under the stick of Schultz as the Moose will break up ice. Swan trying to drop that one off, but a whistle. That is in offside charge. The Mooseheads of the Cape Breton blue line.
I think that was Schultz after he dropped it off. Just couldn't slow down that head of steam. Gets in ahead of the play, and James Swan goes offside as a result.
Puck will be bounced up ahead there for Boutin, who knocked it down. Gravel will drive it in here down this right wing side, and there's a sharp angle shot. Puts that one on goal, and Brady James will make the save on that one.
Mention once again, 1 week from tonight, the home opener, the regular season, the real thing, gets underway with Halifax Mooseheads playing host at Scotiabank Center to the Charlottetown Islanders at 7 o'clock. And you can visit ticketatlantic.com. Individual tickets went on sale this past week. That's for all 34 Mooseheads home games. You can also check out halifaxmooseheads.ca for the full promotional game schedule. Everyone likes to check in on that to see what the big games are this year.
And McKinnon gets out to the one in front of the net for Biasca. He scores. Attilio Biasca roofs it, and the Mooseheads lead once more. Can they protect it?
That's the thing. They've got to buckle down here and either keep the momentum up or play a little bit better defense after they score these goals, because they have been getting the lead, coughing it up time and time again here this evening. But a nice goal by Attilio Biasca as he pops a bottle there with a roof shot against DiMattia. And that is his third point of the night as well, I might say. It, 2 assists a little earlier on. That's to go along with the 2 goals he had a week ago against St. John's. So good start to the preseason and good finish to the preseason for Attilio Biasca.
So Dylan McKinnon and Reese Peitsch pick up the assists on that goal. McKinnon playing that one up ahead. Biasca for Peitsch. And now a little centering feed there in front. Biasca jams away. He scores. Biasca's got another one. The Mooseheads now up by a pair.
Attilio putting the team on his back here and saying, let's get this win tonight and finish things off in style before we get to the regular season. That's 4 goals in 2 games for Attilio Biasca.
So now a 4-point night for Biasca, who, of course, had the real nice setup in that first James Swan goal. That one coming short-handed, and then helped set up Braden McPhee. Could be in for a big season from Attilio Biasca.
Yeah, let's hope it's a sign of great things to come. We mentioned before about his, excellent World Junior Championship with Switzerland, where he was named one of the top 3 players on their team. He was the player of the game against Canada in the game they were eliminated. Played very well against the Canadians and was the leading goal scorer for Switzerland as well. So Biasca could be primed for a breakout at age 19 with the Mooseheads.
12-12 remains. Face-off control by the Eagles. A shot, and Brady James will make the save right there and snag a hold of it. So we'll get set for another defensive zone face-off, this time to his right. And it'll be James Swan taking the draw. He's going to line up here against Hood. And off of that face-off, Phillips with it. Creates a little bit of room for himself with some smooth skating. He's got the red line, floats it into the backhand, and Mattia out to try to rim that one around. The Eagles will look to transition up ice as it's going to be sent down toward that corner. Reaching out with the paddle was James. Worked back toward the line, and Dag unable to keep that one onside, so he'll track back after it. Pulls up there, tries to shake Fournier. Dag up that left wing. Cote will whack it in and turn and head off on a change. McKinnon back to retrieve it, bumps it off the boards. It's Jack Martin with it now. There's a long pass up that right wing side, a little too hot to handle for Liam Welsh. And they're breaking the action. Again, this one, that second period, that kind of dragged on a bit, but things opening up a bit in the third.
Yeah, 7-5 now for the Mooseheads, and just announcing the assist, Matthew Catafor picking up his 4th assist of the night. Reese Peich, his 2nd straight helper as well, as those goals come 34 seconds apart by Attilio Biasca.
So Catafor now with 7 assists in the last 2 games.
Yeah, he's also looking for a pretty big year with the Mooseheads as a 17-year-old. You can bet that there will be plenty of NHL scouts watching him this year as he prepares for his NHL draft season.
Plenty to like about the way Matthew Catafor plays the game. Approaching the midway point of this third period. Eagles trailing by 2. It's played back to the line. Bergeron trying to get the shot off, and that one was poked away. Welsh heads off on a change as Peich will force the Eagles in deep. Lavoie spins with it, knocks it out to neutralize. Squires couldn't handle, and Catafor will scoop it up here for the Mooseheads as he'll gather up some speed, makes his way in down the middle, snaps a shot that was kicked out by the left pad of DeMattia, and that'll roll back toward Brady James. He knocked it aside for Schultz. Up ahead for Biasca, winds up, and he's going to bust his way in down that left wing side. Biasca still with it for Schultz. Brady Schultz will just float one on net. They score. A little redirect, perhaps, on the way through.
Looks like Fournier.
So Fournier will make it an 8-5 hockey game. 3 unanswered here for the Mooseheads.
Well, it's not a pitcher's duel here tonight, Gareth, but we like the way things are looking on the scoreboard right now for the Mooseheads.
Yeah, tough night for the netminders, to be certain. Some goals that I think everyone might like to have back who tended goal here this evening. But the Mooseheads try to run away with it right now, but and the way the bounces have gone here tonight, no lead safe.
Yeah, not with 10 minutes to go.
That is certainly the case as Swan will look for McPhee. Swan now handing it off for Phillips, the 7th overall pick in the last Q draft. Pretty impressive in his camp for the Moose. Johnson, he was pressed there, and that puck will end up out here at neutralized. The Shortle will try to lob it right back in. McPhee will clear it out. There's a pass up that right wing side that was intended for Gravel, but Schultz causing some issues here for the Eagles. Shortle will take it back in. He was hit back of the net by Welsh. Now Todd over to McKenzie. That one knocked back for Todd. Todd couldn't quite corral it. Pattengale will fire this one up the right wing side. Johnson trying to send it back down low. Pattingale trying to fend off the check right there as he was pressured. And there's a good read for Moravets. He stepped up and took it away from Johnson. Peitsch will drive it in down that left wing side, but he had it stripped away as Hebert worked it around the boards. And now Gravel will bounce one down toward the net. That'll roll wide of the goal, and a stoppage with 8:34 now left in this third period. 3 unanswered for the Moose, who lead 8-5. Attilio Biasquez got a couple of goals in this one. Scored at 7:03 and then another one at 7:37 of this third period. Brody Fournier then redirecting a Brady Schultz point shot for his second of the post preseason.
And Owen Phillips picking up an assist on that as well. Wasn't announced, but you can see on the stats page it has been added.
And there's a shot. They scored. Dylan McKinnon right off of that faceoff. He'll rip it past Gio DiMattia and make it 4 straight for the Herd.
Yeah, no question about that one from Dylan McKinnon, who just kind of walks into it and lets it rip, and everything's going in for the Mooseheads right now.
The goals last year, a little tough to come by for the 5th overall pick in the 2021 Q League draft. Took him right up to game 68. It was against the Eagles at center 200 for that first goal to finally bounce his way, but it did. And obviously, Dylan McKinnon, I think, hoping to take on more of an offensive role here for the Mooseheads this year.
I am sure he would love to. I'd like to see a few more pop in, but I think his strengths, of course, are his physicality, his shutdown mentality as a defenseman, but it's always nice to get a few goals here and there, too.
No doubt about it. Philip McKinnon, not an easy guy to play against. Not a lot of defensemen. We say that quite a bit. Not a lot of guys in the league like Dylan McKinnon anymore. Again,
he
playing
is a
that
throwback.
rugged style. As this one will be dropped off for Shields. Lets a shot go, and that one knocked wide of the net as Crosby will take it back out through neutral ice. He's got the Cape Breton line. Couldn't get it past Lavoie, who broke it up, but we get some support there from Swan, who knocks it back down the boards. Crosby got tripped up. Loose puck, and Crosby's on it. And that'll be turned over to Lavoie. Banked off the boards, but not out. Now Shields. He'll take a hit from Schultz as he got up to the Mooseheads blue line. Was able to send it back at the Halifax net, though. Now Swan. Over for Fournier. Fournier had it knocked off of his stick by Bergeron. It's Moravets. Up the left wing for Swan. Swan, he'll hit Fournier. Fournier makes his way in, snaps a shot, and there's a pad save for DiMattia. Now McKenzie, he was pressured. Eagles with an opportunity, a shot. Another solid look right there for Cape Breton. 9-5 hockey game. 4 unanswered for the Mooseheads. As Todd, he'll collect it. Nice to slide it back toward the line, and McKenzie able to keep that one onside. Todd will let a shot go. Extending the pad there was DiMattia, who got a toe on it, but he'll cover it up in front.
That Dylan McKinnon goal is first of the preseason, 11:29 of the third period, assisted
by
Matthew
Catafor. How about that?
I believe
5 helpers now for Catafor in this one.
Not a bad night. This is what they call a stat padding game a little bit when you get to 9 goals against the opposition. But
I think with so many of those big weapons off at NHL caps, if the Mooseheads were going to win here tonight, I think you knew that Matthew Catafor would be playing a pretty big role in
Absolutely.
it, and he has done that and then some.
yeah, exactly. And Biasca and Swan, of course, as well, playing just a huge part of the offensive story here tonight.
Martin will send this one down toward the corner. Peitsch kind of held up right there as it comes back for McKinnon. Down low for McPhee. He's roughed up back of the net by Shortle. It's Peitsch in possession back for Martin. Over to McKinnon, right back to him. We'll keep that one alive at the right point. Welsh, he'll hand off now for McPhee. Got dumped. Hard pass back up top for Martin. There's a shot on that one. Snagged and held on to by the glove of Gio DiMattia.
Well, the Mooseheads certainly doing what was needed to shake off that adversity earlier in the game. They get a lead, they cough it up, get a lead, cough it up, and they really exploded here in the third period against Gio DiMattia with those 4 unanswered goals, including a couple from Attilio Biasca, and a 9-5 lead. They'll look to take it home here tonight in the final closing minutes.
Cataford trying to make his way out front. He'll play it back for Schultz. Now it's Gravel. For Daig. Up to Johnson. Johnson is hit hard there by Schultz. Got it neutralized. Biasca took a bump from big Owen Arnold. And Fournier. He's got to step down this left wing, and he was looking for Biasca there. As Filio Biasca driving the goal. A shot that is ripped on net, and that'll be held on to by DiMattia.
Yeah, Biasca just kind of getting caught trying to take that one on his backhand, and a little tricky to convert. The nice pass, though, from Brody Fournier to feed that one across.
So the shots on goal are now favoring, or they do favor, I should say, the Eagles. Out shooting the Mooseheads 31-30, but it's the Moose now with a 4-goal lead, up 9-5. Plenty of goals in this one. For a bit of a sleepy second period. Biasca down in the corner. He'll slide it back toward the line for Schultz. Schultz snaps one wide of the net. Loose back there, and Eagles will come away with it as it's going to be worked up the right wing side for Shields. He's got one in this third period. Down the wing. Played back to the point. Lavoie, he'll rip one that ends up off the back glass. A little scramble there, and it looks like we've got a glove pass down in the Mooseheads end. So another break in the action with 4:24 left in this final frame.
I'm going to check the Out of Town scoreboard here, Gareth. 3-0 for Drummondville. Second period of action against Sherbrooke tonight. It's 2-1 Gatineau over Blainville in the second period. Rimouski up 1-0 on Quebec in the middle of the second period there. 3-0 Shawinigan over Victoriaville in the second, and 2-1 Rouen-Noranda over Val-d'Or in the second period.
There's a shot as Pattengale will put one on net, and it's like the net kind of knocked off back of Brady James with lots of action down there around his crease. Still a couple more days here of preseason action, and this is, of course, the Mooseheads' final preseason game, but still a couple of days left here before the real thing gets going.
Yeah, a couple of Maritime teams in action tomorrow with Moncton and Charlottetown taking on one another, and the Sea Dogs in action on Sunday as well. So a few teams yet to wrap things up. The Mooseheads will look to prepare for the regular season starting tomorrow.
Here's Bites down the wing, lets a shot going. There was a big rebound that kicked out to Crosby, and Crosby unable to convert there in tight. I haven't said that too much during training camp.
Yeah, exactly.
Now let it neutralize. Bites for Crosby. Crosby coming in there 1-on-4. And it knocked off of his stick. He's going to head off. Completes the change as Todd will drive his way right up the gut and knocked off of his stick, and that puck will end.
Starting next Friday night, await the return of those 6 players from NHL training camps. Likely see Zachary Leroux, a former first-round pick of Nashville, probably get an invite to main camp, I would think.
McPhee will spin with it in front, and that one will deflect wide. I think that would probably be a pretty safe assumption with Zach Leroux.
Yeah, and if Jordan Dumais keeps scoring, who knows?
Well, that's will not be surprising either. What a start to his camp as we get a big hit there. McPhee got bowled over. And that will draw some jeers as he answers right back a shot. He scores. Braden McPhee, after getting decked, he'll rip one past Dematia, and the Mooseheads now up by 5.
He's the king of redemption. He did it earlier tonight after drawing a penalty, scoring on the power play. Gets knocked down, snow all over the pants, gets up and rips one home and has a little something to say to the Cape Breton bench afterwards.
Well, he got decked there, and the Cape Breton bench giving it to him. I think it's safe to assume that already Braden McPhee he's already acquainted himself, I think, with some of the new members of this Eagles team, but definitely not making too many friends out there. But, again, what a response after that big impact. This Gravel will take a little whack there from Wallace. An opportunity now. That one ripped on net by Hood, and it was shrugged off by James.
I think McPhee relishes not making friends out there. Gotta love it.
And I know we've mentioned it on a few occasions, but obviously when it comes to that grit, that really kind of pest style of play that we saw from Zach Beauregard, of course, he brought a lot of skill as well, but Beauregard just had such a knack for getting under the skin of the opponent. I think McPhee certainly well poised and positioned to fill that void.
Yeah, exactly. Somebody needed to fill that role, and he jumped all over the opportunity at camp to say, hey, I'm in my 18-year-old year now, ready to make an impact on this team after getting called up for the final portion of last season and sitting in the press box quite a bit, not in and out of the lineup, but this is what he brings to this team, and that's a much-needed role.
Bergeron will carry this one. He lets a shot go, and Brady James reaches down and grabs a hold of that one and snags it with the glove, and he's going to hang on to it here. So, a line change for the Mooseheads as Crosby will make his way up along with Moser and Wallace, and coming out now, take this face-off for the Eagles, Julian Hebert.
This might not have been the game that Brady James would have liked, letting in 5 goals, but I think he's ending on a positive note here. 13 shots on goal on him in the third period alone, and only 1 goal against. I think he's kind of turned the tide, and he's going to have something good to think about of this game after this one's done.
Welsh will send that one in deep. Shortle will rim it around. The Eagles look to break out. There's a pass for Shortle. He was pressured, forced back into his end by David Moravets, who was all over him. Getting pretty excited here about Moravets this season. This is just looks like a real steady presence, certainly on the Mooseheads back end already, as McPhee will make his way toward the net, and he got roughed up as Cote with the big bump right there that sends McPhee flying to the back of that Cape Breton goal.
Yeah, McPhee still mixed up in the action, and as you said, Moravets excited to see him. It's been a while since we've had, an impactful European defenseman on this team. You probably go back to Konrad Adelchauser, the Memorial Cup team, as he was a 5-year veteran at that time. You've seen a lot of skilled forwards come through Halifax from the import draft. Very excited to see a solid Euro D on the back end, and for any fans who've purchased the World Junior packages already, it's almost a guarantee that he'll be on that Czechia team that will play here in Halifax this Christmas. He played with a couple of former Mooseheads, in fact, last year. It was Jan Stransky, remember him, and Thomas Notek, the former captain. He's playing with men in the Czech league over there.
A delayed penalty coming up there. This one is going to be touched up, and with the whistle and time ticking down, penalty coming up right now with just 1:07 remaining. Lupanis going to make his way to the Cape Breton penalty box. The Mooseheads will pick up a late power play opportunity. Again, just 67 ticks left in the clock.
Cade Mosier out there to take the draw. Ben Wallace as well. A couple of the call-ups getting a little PP time here at the end.
So Peitsch will send this one up top. McKinnon over for Martin. Martin's pass that was broken up by his former teammate, Luke Patterson. Another penalty coming up right now. So it's a delay call coming up to the Mooseheads, and the Mattia will make his way off. Zarnold will carry it in, slows up at the line, dished off for Daig, for Patterson now. Patterson will jam on the brakes down there in the corner. 21 seconds left. It's sent in deep. Martin in a battle, and there's a big hit from Dylan McKinnon. McKinnon, real physical there, and set on Luke Patterson.
Yeah, that was have a seat, young man kind of hit as he just leveled him around the goal line.
A couple of Moncton area guys right there going at it. That's just a big impact from Dylan McKinnon. Again, expect to see him lower the boom a lot this upcoming season. His sophomore campaign for the Mooseheads.
A lot of Moncton in this game tonight with Braden McPhee involved, Dylan McKinnon, Jack Martin, Luke Patterson. The Moncton Flyers program certainly has churned them out over the past couple of years.
Well represented in this one. 15.4 seconds now left. It's 4 minutes up there on the board. As off of this faceoff, Martin is going to move it now for Schultz. Schultz will take it for a little skate up ice. And he'll take a bump down there in the corner, and now he's got to contend with Bergeron and a couple extra pokes. Had Squires on him there as well, and Liam Welsh, he's mixing it up as time ticks down, gets knocked over by Repchik, who gave him a cross check.
Pattengale came clear across the ice to take a shot at Schultz at the end, as Cape Breton's not leaving this one very happy, but the Mooseheads picking up their final win of the preseason.
And they'll finish the preseason with a 4-1 record. And now can focus on an exciting Friday night at home. Again, it has been a while, and it's not something we said it was not since, of course, that banner raising ceremony after the team won the Memorial Cup and at that first game. That's the way the season always works. You start in the rink of the winning team.
Attilio Biasca reminding the guys, hey, before you get off the ice, let's salute this crowd. He's loving it. Had a big night. He's ready for the season to start.
We're excited to see what he has in store here for this year. Again, I think it's injury woes, of course, last year. Before that, had some injuries the previous season as well, and COVID kept them out of the country until the World Juniors back during his rookie campaign with the Mooseheads, and it's kind of tough to get acclimated to the league and the style of play that way. That wasn't easy, and of course when he came over, it was every other night you're playing Cape Breton, or the next night you're playing Charlottetown. That was it. It was kind of a unique season there. His first in the queue, but certainly looks pretty poised for a big third year here in Halifax.
Yeah, and him and many of the other players now in their 18-year-old season, guys who've been here a couple of years, are going to get the true Halifax Mooseheads experience starting with this home opener next Friday night. There's a thirst for hockey, a thirst to be back in live events. It's going to be a raucous crowd throughout the season. Season ticket sales have gone well. It's going to be a lot of fun to be around the rink this year.
5 unanswered goals for the Mooseheads in that third period. Attilio Biasca with a couple, Brody Fournier, Dylan McKinnon, and Braden McPhee all finding twine, as well as the Mooseheads, it turns out, able to hold on to that lead. And, boy, they certainly added to it as well. And wild 10-5 final, the Mooseheads improving to 4-1 here in the preseason again. Looking forward to that home opener next Friday night against the Charlottetown Islanders. And, again, for fans wondering about ticket information. I know you dropped that. You plugged that a couple of times, but maybe one more before we go.
Yeah, on sale now. Individual tickets, all 34 Mooseheads home games. You can check out ticketatlantic.com. You still have a chance to become a season ticket holder. 15 packs. You can call the season ticket office or at 492-2370 as well and speak to Glenn or Christina. They'd be happy to help you out.
We would be happy to talk to them. So
Yeah.
that's it. That's all. That is the preseason. And we're looking forward, again, to the real thing Friday night at the Scotiabank Center. Hope to see you there. Thanks for tuning in here tonight. You have been watching the 2020 Mooseheads Training Camp presented by Eastlink on the official YouTube channel of the Halifax Mooseheads.